back to the golf fix. We're talking around the greens, and we're moving into a standard chip shot. This is a great shot to use if you have some solid movement patterns with chipping. You can control the spin, you control the carry, and for a lot of the guys on tour, it's going to be the most consistent shot that they use, and one of the reasons why they hole out so much. So in this situation, let's start with the setup. If I set up to a standard chip shot, I want to make sure I play the ball in the middle, the slightly back portion of my stance. It's going to help give me slightly lower launch. It's going to make it easier for a shorter motion. I want to make sure that my feet are rather close together. So about a club head width sideways. You can flare a little bit, which is going to help with the pivot. And we want to be closer and a little bit taller. So we're going to kind of stand that club up a little bit. From the front on view, I want to make sure that you have a little pressure on the lead leg. So you're going to feel like your sternum moves forward a hair. Arms are soft and relaxed. Slightly firmer grip pressure. Not trying to use a lot of hand action here. So slightly firmer grip pressure. And we're going to feel more of a big muscle motion. Longer back, shorter through. And you're going to see as I come through, I'm just not going to change my hand motion very much. I'm not going to have a lot of flip this way. I'm not going to try to lag it. There's just not a lot going on except for my bigger muscles moving the club. So I'm going to take my setup, stand it up, back, through, really feeling like I'm hitting it with my stomach. And what's great here is that I can try to get it over this area where there's a slope. So on this green, there's a slope at the beginning that goes a little bit this way, which I had to take into account when I was hitting a lower one. But if I can fly all that, I don't have to worry about that whatsoever. I can help control the spin and therefore give me a little bit better chance to get it close. So let's kind of talk about that here. I'm going to take my setup, go back, kind of fluid, and it's going to kind of filter down there to the left. Let's try one more. I think I can do a little bit better than that. That was a slightly shorter shot that I wanted. I need to carry it a little bit further, a little bit more swing, still short follow through. There we go. And you can see that's going to filter down there quite a bit better. So when we're chipping, we want to feel like our follow through is going to be short. And I got some great drills for that. The reason it wants to be short is that we want to feel like it's more of our big muscles that are moving the ball. So the first drill I want us to do is I want us to take our setup, and we're actually going to go to from here, the follow through. So you're going to take your setup, put the club in front of the ball, and I just want you to mimic where you want to finish. So I'm going to try to finish right here. You can see there's not a lot going on with my hands. I'm going to feel like my pivot is moving me through. I'm going to hold, look at the target, and then set back up, and then try to finish in that same spot. Really good there. Love that one. Come on, get in the hole. Get in the hole. Oh, almost. So that's a great drill. It really kind of gives me a sensation, an idea of where do I want to be at the finish. It's not a flop shot. This isn't a pitch shot. I'm going to have shorter follow through. The second one that I also really like to kind of give you that arm-body connection. Make sure you wear deodorant for this one. Take your setup, place your trail hand underneath your armpit, and you want to feel like you're going to keep pressure constant on your hand. So you're going to go back and you're going to go through. If my arm comes off, that's not good. My wrist kind of breaks down and I go into the armpit more, that's not good. So you want to feel a constant pressure on that hand. After you hit a couple of those, you can take your hand out. And then from there, try to feel that same connection as you chip. Another good one there. Little bit long, little bit left, but also very solid. So those are kind of the ideas here with a chipping shot that's going to help you get close to the hole, help you make good contact, and as time goes on, help you pull out. And now, it's time to prepare to perform, presented by Woo. All right, we're going to be talking here about reading a chip like a putt. And what I mean by that is you want to see where the ball needs to land and also where you want it to roll out. So there's a couple tiers here, a couple slopes. The first part of this chip, the green is actually sloping to the right here. It's sloping kind of away from me. And so if I land it too short, it's going to kick to the right. I got to be able to see that. However, the further down I go, it kind of changes, and now it's going to slope a little more right to left at this point. I like to get kind of below, read it almost like a book, so I can kind of see the slope, and I can imagine this ball filtering from high down to low. What I can also see, which I think is important, is if you look at the cup, I can see a burned out edge going this way. That means the grain is going towards me right now, so it's going to run out. It's a little bit downhill. It's a little bit down grain. So all of these factors you need to take into account when you're trying to find your landing spot. So I'm going to try to visualize exactly where I want to land it and try to read it like a putt. So in my mind, if I can land this ball a little further past this shadow, I'm thinking maybe about 3 steps past this shadow, somewhere in here, and slightly to the right of the hole, it's going to want to filter down. And even if I put some spin on it, because it's downhill and because it's down grain, I know everyone wants to spin it, wants that juice, but what's going to happen here is it's going to want to roll out because of that. These are all factors. This is golf IQ. These are all factors that you got to take into account. You got to be aware of them beforehand. You don't want to figure that out by the time you get up there. So just like the whoop helps you prepare to perform for your day, helps you prepare to know how much stress you have, how much strain you have, you got to prepare here to understand what the ball is going to do beforehand. You don't want to figure that out after you've already hit the shot. So I'm going to take my setup, look at the hole, hit a chip here. Like I said, I think a few feet in front of the shadow is good. A little bit to the right of the hole, but not much, and that should be a pretty good place to hit it. So kicked a little bit right and landed slightly short. So I have a good idea in my mind of where I want this. I'm gonna go ahead and take this towel. I'm gonna place it on the green where I want to land it, and this is gonna be now my visual. And so even if there's not an actual towel on the green, this could be your thought of where you want to land it. Kind of a mental image, if you will.
What are we doing?
And so if I can get it anywhere close to that, I know I'm gonna be in good shape as far as the result. And so really what you're trying to do here is you have your landing spot, you have your finishing spot, and the combination of both of those is going to give you the result we want. So I'm visualizing it landing on that surface, I'm visualizing landing on that towel, and then I'm going to try to execute here. A little short, filtered out to the right, I got to go a little more left. Towel might be a stitch far. It takes a couple times to get the hang of this. Back. Little short. That's going to be pretty good. You can see it rolling out. That's the green. That's the green that we're talking about. So that towel was a hair far. However, I have a good idea of where I want to land it. And you're trying to imagine that landing spot whenever you're hitting these types of shots. So understanding the landing spot, understanding the finishing spot, the combination of them both is going to be key. So chipping with the sand wedge, with the gap wedge, great way to hit the ball on the green, carry some of the hills, manage the spin, and manage the ball speed so you get it close to the hole, or even, if you're lucky, hole out.
Now, how good is that video? So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video, because I found it on TV. You probably saw it was on TV, and I found it was really interesting to show you guys. And I just started doing it, and it really helped me, because I just went to the golf club right now, and I chipped really, really well. I holed a couple of them and chipped very well, and someone came over to me and said, "Wow, you're doing great on chipping. How do you do that?" And I told them I just watched it on TV, so I thought it would be nice to show you guys to show him. And he was a professional chipper, I thought, on TV, so I thought it would be nice to show you guys. So, but if you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you've gotten better at chipping in golf, please make sure you leave a comment, because if I just want to see if it was a good video. It'll make the video more interesting. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, again, please make sure to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.